So we're just about to start the next session. We're going to be with who have we got here? We've got yeah, we got Hidde, Hidde.
Hidde Hoogland.
Of course. I'm glad he said that. And we've got Julien Noël and we've got Bertrand Du Bourblanc, and we're going to be discussing moving the needle, delivering low carbon web3 Filecoin infrastructure using solar and battery storage. 2 case studies of leveraging renewable energy to underpin the deployment of web3 workloads. There. Go for it.
Thank you all for having me, guys. Let me see if... Perfect. So, still the old version. My name is Hidde Hoogland, and I'm really excited to tell you about what we are doing as a web3 data center located in the Netherlands, slightly above Amsterdam. On your left is my partner, Wijnand Schout. He tried to be here, but due to family circumstances, he is still in the Netherlands. But this is the software legend of the company, and I'm the hardware engineer of our business. Where the journey began was already 7, 8 years ago. I started out as a Bitcoin and Ethereum miner in the past with a few GPUs, and we just expanded as the price of Ethereum and BTC rose year by year. We ended up filling one massive location just with concrete and tiles, filled to the cheek with GPUs. And as you can see, it was a pretty big number. Some of you may know Elio. We even had way more and larger data centers in Europe, but for the Netherlands it was the largest at the time. And as you also can see, running this at full load took, well, 850 kilowatts, which is an amazing amount of energy. When the prices were low, it was doable, but eventually it was too costly to run this. So as we grew, we just saw that energy is going to be a bigger and bigger and bigger problem. You might remember a little bit more than a year ago, the electricity prices rose up to an insane amount. In England, it was even worse than in the mainland Europe. But this was one of the main reasons why we stopped mining Ethereum. It was just not doable in Europe. So me and my partner tried a lot of projects, and we ended up choosing for Filecoin and IPFS due to the main reasons everybody is here. We were really interested in Web3 and storage and blockchain. We didn't want to exit the space. So, to our opinion, we wanted to stay in the blockchain space. We wanted to stay with being miners, but we wanted to reduce the amount of electricity usage. So you have proof of stake models, you have more than one proof of stake models, that all didn't really fit what we were looking for. And then luckily, end of 2020, Filecoin launched, and we actually went all in. So this is the same picture as the picture you saw before with the GPUs. It's the same building. We sold all the cards, we demolished the whole building, did the walls again, did the floors again, did the ceiling again, and we just made our own little DC, slightly above Amsterdam, which is still operational, and we host all the hardware that we are running as a storage provider in this DC right now. What we then started doing is we tried to find ways how to run this operation a little bit more efficient. So we first started experimenting with a lot of software implementations on making compute that's unused, idle, or even fully offline. We changed the characteristics of how we use the storage to put those unused hard drives on spin down. All those examples just to reduce the amount of electricity we used. On the other hand, we started with an installation of solar panels. We bought the full premise. Then we started with the first installation together with Filecoin Green, with the help of Alan and Mark, who unfortunately are not here today. And we installed 238 panels on the roof, making sure that with the installation back then, so longer than a year ago, we were fully off-grid in the summer. The problem was we grew, so we weren't fully off-grid anymore a year later. So we went back to the Filecoin Green team and told them, okay, we might be looking into battery solutions. So will you be able to work with us again on a new project? And they said yes, but you then need to also extend the capacity of the solar array. So we did. The second installation was adding 500 panels on the roofs next to us. So there's actually not our own DC, but we rented the roof for the next 20 years. So we now utilize almost 800 panels on the roof of the DC, making us again almost completely renewable in summer. What we also added was batteries. This is actually a few weeks before the full installation. As you can see, there's still no cables attached, but it looks better than the ones with cables. What we do with these batteries right now is we fill them up in the cheapest hours, and we let them discharge during the most expensive hours of the day. I will show you that in a graph later. They're only 125 kilowatt hours, so it's only enough to run the DC for 1.5 or 2 hours, which is not enough, but for a demo right now, it's awesome to have and utilize. And here you can see one of the things I'm most proud of, to be honest. This is the from a website called measurementdata.nl, and you can look up the usage you have from the government agency that controls and regulates the power usage. And we can actually see the quarterly or the 15-minute chart of how much kilowatts we are using. And you can clearly see from around 9 o'clock in the morning, the whole data center goes off grid. We don't import any kilowatts from the grid whatsoever until around 6:30, 7 p.m. at night. Even better, we export a huge amount of electricity a day. And I thought I was completely renewable, but we are almost exporting and generating the same amount as we use on a day. So this is something we are proud of, and we are trying to become fully renewable next year, but we will only be making that happening with being more efficient, because we have no more space adding another batch of panels right now. And you can see at around 7:45 you can see another drop down. That is the battery installation going online. So this is actually, yeah, for us it's awesome, and it helps us. It saves around 50% of our expenditures going toward electricity each month. So thank you. And this is a picture of the full installation. As you can see here, the first batch and the second batch. The first batch is to the south, and the second batch is west-east, just to have the complete day covered with the sun.
Did you want to take any questions?
Yeah,
before we go into the next one?
of course.
Does anybody have any questions for I'm not going to say his name.
You can say Heidi.
Heidi, okay. Any questions for Heidi? No? Okay, I've got a quick one for you, Heidi.
Yeah.
Solar panels, how long? 7 years lifespan?
30.
30 years? Well,
Yeah.
I'm impressed. Okay, and you've got 20-year lease, so you're fine.
We got a 20-year lease, so we are, we are okay.
Excellent. Okay, so we'll do a swap over now then. Thanks very much.
Hello guys, so my name is Julien, I'm with Bertrand.
Hello.
We are going to explain what we do in terms of green operation and what we built and want to offer to the storage providers of this community.
Technology.
Thanks. So very quickly about my activities. So I have a company called Twin Quasar. We do service for Falcon storage providers and clients. So we provide hosting. That's not the right presentation. This is not the last one I send you. Yep. So we provide services for storage providers. So we provide like a green hosting solution that we're gonna present today. what we build and why we decided to partner with CELESTE on that. We provide managed services and miner as a service. We do data onboarding for clients, and we also have like Falcon notary activities. And we develop solutions. So I will also present like what we develop in terms of green development with part of the Falcon Green program. We develop also 2 other solutions in the ecosystem, which is CID Gravity and Lotus Farcaster.
Thank you, Julien. I'm Bertrand Du Bourblanc. I'm the head of partnerships at CELESTE. CELESTE is a French company based in Paris. We were created 25 years ago. CELESTE is one of the oldest company of telecom and data centers in France. We are not well known, but we have, 25 years of history. Today, CELESTE is a big company in France, in Switzerland too. You can look at our figures there. But the 2 activities of CELESTE are telecommunications, connectivity, and data centers. Okay? And the most important thing to know about CELESTE is that we only do business-to-business activity. You know, in France, perhaps you have some operators that operate both for mass market and B2B. Our goal is to work for our customers and enterprise. Okay? We have 5 data centers. We should have a look at the map to check where they are. We have some peering agreements, of course. And we have a national optical fiber network, both in France and in Switzerland. You can see this map of France. Our headquarters are in Paris. I'm working in Toulouse, where we have a big data center. We also have some other agencies. And the data centers of CELESTE are in Paris, in Toulouse, in Nantes. The reason why we are here with you today is that we have an ecological approach of the data center. Here you can see the data center of Paris. And as you can see, the conception of the building is vertical. The reason why we have developed this vertical building is that we operate with a free cooling approach. We use the outside air to cool all the equipments. And as you can see on the next slide, free cooling is very useful to have an ecological conception. And then we have the second building with it located in Albi. Albi is near Toulouse, and as you may know, Toulouse is well known for high temperatures. In January we have 25 degrees, so we have to cool this building. And we also use free cooling to refresh the servers. So this building is very high electrical availability and density, and we have a good capacity, 90 racks and 20 telecom racks. Of course, our first activity was to be telecom operator, so we have peering agreements, fiber connectivity, and yes, pairing with all the big operators in France and all over the world. Maybe you know this picture. You know how free cooling functions. The principle of this building is to be vertical. That is to say, we have an air circulation. This is very important because the air circulation helps us to save electricity by 35%. And maybe you know the name of this data center. It is called Marilyn. maybe if you are interested in American pictures, Marilyn Monroe, of course. In a famous picture, she has a trouser, yeah, and yes, the Marilyn data center uses the air to refresh the servers. This is another picture of our Albi data center. This is quite the same system, but in Albi we have an horizontal design to do exactly the same as a free cooling. Some pictures now for you. Of course, we have a rejected Cooper for optical fiber. We have reduced the use of batteries with the benefit of flywheel inverters. And of course, we use the heat of servers to heat the head office.
That's for me.
And now we have to talk to you about solar panels.
Yep. So with this design, so we reduce a lot the energy consumption just to cool the systems. I don't know if we mentioned it, but like we save like no, I don't remember the figures. I think it was 6 gigawatt per year compared to conventional data centers. So that's massive savings. And what we do with that is like we also work with the Filecoin green team to start like creating an offer for storage providers. So we kick off the deployment of solar panel with them, and the idea is like we're going to cover all the green racks that are dedicated to Filecoin by deploying additional solar panels with CELESTE. So the way it works is like in these buildings we have like green racks for Filecoins, and we have like standard racks for the clients. So when we have like an overproduction of electricity, we can just offload that on the standard racks. And during the night, we switch to, and during the peak, we switch on the 100% renewable energy, because in France we have an agreement like on nuclear. The current rollout is 500 square meters. In Albi, we have like 6,000 available square meters also for solar panels. So we have like plenty of room just to increase that. On top of that, to get the full transparency of what it is done, like we are developing an open source solution, which is tooling, where we can see like on the per deal, over all his life cycle, the total energy that is consumed. And this is measured like per minute. And this is really like, it's not like a global average on the year, but that's really like measured per minute. We know exactly where the deal is produced, on which servers and so on. And everything is available through a UI. These data are public data, as long as the storage providers wants to share that data. Anyone can deploy the same thing on his own, and this will be available through a dashboard and through API. We based these figures, so this is based on the solar panel production, so we've got like some metrology at that stage. We also have some metrology directly available on the racks, and we provide like softwares like people can use to deploy that directly on the servers. So this is a development that we do like part of the Filecoin Green initiative to provide some tooling and be more transparent about like how much our blockchain is using. The benefits for the storage providers to use this product or to come to our premises to host their equipment is that like they directly get the Filecoin Green highest grade, like we're going to be audited by the Filecoin Green team and confirm that everything is like probably gold. We design everything with them, so we expect that we're going to get that level of grade. They're going to have access to green financing, which means like if you meet that level, you can like get access to some funds that are like, you have some credits by the state and so on that. The Falcon Green team is also going to put in place a reputation system based on how green you are in your production. You're going to get access to a better data cap, better deal, and also to deals that are coming like from the Falcon Green programs. On the other end, the price that we provide are very, very competitive. You can just come to us. We have a booth over there. We're going to show you we can share with you what are the different price we for the different racks in the different location. Because we produce all the energy, the price is committed over 3 years. And this is that we are protected against the energy crisis, because we are completely autonomous on that. So yeah, that's it. Do you have any questions?
I have one.
Hold on, I'll give you
Thank you. Before we swapped into Falcon, we did air cooling as well, because cooling down the 850 kilowatts of the GPUs in that setup with air conditioning or anything else was not doable. So we just swapped out the windows and put huge fans on the roof and just pulled all the air through. But it was a mess because it was dirty. And the whole DC, just every week we need to swap and clean everything because it was just not manageable. Using that clean air is nice, but how do you keep the data centers clean? Because the amount of swapping and keeping the dust out is a huge effort to manage.
So there is the way it's designed. I can tell you about that data center because actually this is the one. Yeah. That one I'm working on. There is like the air is filtered here.
Yeah.
And here we have like cold and hot. Sorry. I don't know.
Shafts.
I don't know. The air can flow directly from here to here, like.
No, I understand, but I mean the filters, the entrance.
Yeah.
The volume of air needed to cool servers.
Yeah.
The filters need to be swapped every 24 hours. I mean, it's a pretty hefty.
I don't know. I can ask for that.
Yeah.
Do
No.
you have
I
any clue on that?
Yes, it's
intense.
You're right. It's a very good question, and we have to clean the air because you have we have a lot of air particles. Yes.
Yeah.
But inside,
Yeah.
inside, I mean, inside it's completely clean. The wall
Yeah,
are
no,
white and so on, which is like, quite impressive.
There's a Kyoto. I don't know. Have you ever heard the Kyoto cooling wheel? No, it's a Dutch company, and they have a big wheel that drops it, takes cold air in from the external sources, brings it through before it reaches the wheel, which then drops it into the floor below. So it drops cold air into the server floor. It has a wall which is just one filter.
Yeah.
And I think they change the filter, say, once a week or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that just filters out all the particles and that, so you're not dropping the dirt into the server floor. Yeah. So I'm assuming you've got something like that, but it's just just working
exactly
on
the same. Yes, it's an issue, of course.
Yeah. Excellent. Are there any more questions for our team? No. Here we have one. Hold on.
No, you are not producing solar panels, do you? You just,
we just use solar panels. Yes, we use,
you are just using solar panels. Okay. Because the things today, solar panels are getting better and better, so they are more efficient. But you don't change it because the life cycle is 25 years or 30 years, so you don't want to change the solar panels all the time.
You can technically change them, but it depends on the efficiency increased in 5 or 10 years. We just don't know right now. Yeah.
Okay, I've got one more question for you.
There is one question.
Sorry, I've got another question up here. Yes.
So I saw that you guys developed CID Gravity, which is, I think, a CID tracking tool that's hosted by you.
It's not a tracking tool. It's a solution for storage providers to manage their deals and how they receive deals and criteria.
So I'm curious to understand like what part of your efforts are for like developing APIs and tooling for storage providers versus the managed service part.
Say that again.
So what part of your like companies dedicated to developing software tooling
So
versus...
actually this is two different companies.
Oh,
So
yeah,
there is
okay,
Twin Quasar is the company doing everything related to hosting and storage providers activity. And CID Gravity, it's another company that I'm on both company, but that's really two different activities.
Okay, I've got another quick question for you. Because you're using free air, do you have a backup system in case, I mean, supposing your servers were running at their absolute maximum, you're producing as much as possible, and in Toulouse, was it, you're running outside temperatures at, I don't know what they are there, 30, 40, 50 degrees in the summer months. Can you cope with that, or do you need a backup system just for insurance?
There is aircon, actually, also.
There is aircon as a backup,
Yes,
just purely
as
as
the
backup.
backup system, yes.
Yeah, and what
exactly.
sort of aircon are you using?
Say that again?
What sort of backup are you using?
For electricity?
What sort of cooling system is a
Ah,
backup?
yeah.
Yeah.
I
This is
don't
air
know.
conditioning.
This is air conditioning, but I can't tell you.
It's just normal crack system, something like that.
This is air conditioning.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, I know that they say the one I saw from Kyoto Cooling years ago, it was the Rotterdam Internet Exchange, and what they had was as a backup was they had what literally looked like a car radiator covering a whole wall, and it was just running Freon gas through it, and if the air temperatures got too much for the facility to cope with, the Freon gas radiator would have a fan behind it blowing the cold air through. But yeah, that's just a backup thing.
I think this is power cooling, yes.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, thank you very much for our team. Let's give them a big hand. Thank you.